Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
Honestly, no.
Do we need men?
No.
Why?
Because they suck.
Yes, all men in the world disappear. A certain sense of celebration breaks out in Western cities as women celebrate the world without men. Bras are thrown to the sky in liberation, hair is let down, but it doesn't last long. Within about half a day, the power grid fails from lack of proper operation. 94% of operators are men. Thermal plants shut down without being fueled, causing cascading blackouts as protection devices disconnect sections of the network. By night, there's no electricity unless you have your own generator. Day 2. Come next dawn, everyone has realized that no one will be supplying shops. 84% of truck drivers are men. Panic looting begins. With next to no law enforcement, 83% of police officers are men, there isn't even an attempt to impose order. And much violence takes place at this stage as women fight over vital goods. By that night, backup systems have failed and all utilities shut down completely. No water, no electricity, no gas, no telecommunications. Women will resort to lighting candles and building makeshift open pit fires for heating and cooking, leading inevitably to building blazes, which in the absence of almost all firefighters, 89% of which are men, they spread much further than they otherwise would.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha. Now, as much as I want to side with him, and I think that he's right, if this scenario happens in the modern world, even if it did happen in the modern world, it wouldn't matter. With women, they like chaos. So the fighting over goods and resources and shit, that we see a lot of world star videos. As much as men fight, there's probably triple the amount of videos on Twitter of women fighting, because they're sporadic. And contrary to popular belief, women are actually a lot more aggressive than we are in disagreements with other women. And on top of all that, he was talking about they'll start using open pits and to cook and keep warm. Yeah, they'll become primitive again. Women aren't keen on technological advances, or at least within the last 1,000 years, they haven't needed to. I'm sure that given a couple centuries, they'd figure it out, right? I would like to give them that. That's not me being a simp. That's me just being an optimistic, reasonable, logical man. To say that, yeah, within a couple hundred centuries, they would figure it out, right? Because I do think women have intelligence, and when you deprive any human of lack of something, they figure it out most of the times, unless they're crackheads or they're insane. But that's another can of worms. But in the modern world, yes, they would digress rapidly. That's not to take anything away from women. I just don't think that they think in the long term. I think they think in the abstract, and they think in the short term. And because, like I said, within the last 1,000 years, they haven't needed to do none of that shit. So, like, it's like with men, we haven't needed to be daycare providers or nurturers and shit. I'm sure we would get it wrong when it comes to like being nurturing and palatable to a child. Yeah, we could take care of one, go through the mechanics and be practical and pragmatic, right? Feed it, clothe it, make it go through college, high school, middle school, whatever. But you still need that. Like, kids aren't robots. They're not objects. They're humans. So yeah, we lack the nurturing capabilities that women primarily have had the function of. So the same thing would be said with us. But with women, yeah, in the modern world, they would digress rapidly, extremely. But I don't think it's something that they couldn't overcome. But that's not what this video is actually about. The video is actually about women actually opening their mouth, putting their foot in it. And it's younger women. Now, in all fairness, the video that I rolled before I let that video roll was a bunch of women that looked like they was early 20s. I don't know why any person on the street would ask any women between the ages of 20 and 24 shit, right? Of course, they're going to give that egotistical, narcissistic, self-centered, self-absorbed answer. So, yeah, that's all I got. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do, and I'm out.